Recording in progress. The funny thing is,
there we go.
I really don't have a good idea where this is recording to. I do have it in a cloud, and it is supposed to be recording to my device. So at the end of the day, I should pull it off from some. But hi, this is Never Riding. I'm here with
Brad, Hallway TV.
That's your YouTube channel?
YouTube, Instagram. That's NC Eastgate. That's the group that I ride with.
How long you been riding skateboards? Did you start with electric, or were you kick push before that?
Oh, yeah, kick pushing since I was probably 12, 13.
Yeah, I was 9 years old when I got my first skateboard.
Yeah, nice. How long you been on electric?
Been on electric for the past 2 years, 3 years. I think it is, yeah, 3 years. How about yourself? What was your first e-skate?
First e-skate was the Meepo Mini. I got that in 2019.
Man, how much was that back then?
Back then it was $650 for the ER, extended range.
Well, what was the extended range back then?
So extended range back then was about 16 miles. Of course, they claimed 20 or so, but it would really get about 16 miles.
That's my biggest thing with electric skateboards is range. I started, my first one was the Backfire Zealot, second generation, and that was giving me 20, 25. Got the Sex Panther because I needed 30 and above. And now I realize I want more, so I just picked up an Endurance, and that should give me 90 or more.
Yeah, I know. That board's insane, man.
So the board you're on now, what are you, is that the same one you were racing?
So what I'm on now is a Meepo Hurricane, and I was on, it's a stock Hurricane and I was racing with cloud wheels. So I was actually not that, it was kind of sliding out on me a little bit.
105s, 120s?
120s, yeah, 120 clouds. They were definitely worn in, but you know, even with them being worn in, they're still cloud wheels, and I was sliding all around out there.
Yeah, I did a lap with the dad bods, and I was pushing it, trying to keep up with, you know, the crowd. And the front end was sliding, the back end was sliding, and I was not used to sliding like that.
Did you race?
I did not race. Okay. I'm going to race if I can. I'm going to train off season, and I'm going to work hard and see if I can't, you know, feel confident enough to come out there and race. Between me and my son, I think one of us will end up doing it because we had a ball out there, and it was just an amazing time. The racing, the fellowshipping, the vendors. Did you get any like time to talk to the vendors at all, or were you just?
Oh yeah, we talked to the vendors plenty. You know, made the rounds. I wish I would have talked to them. You know, certain ones I didn't get to talk to, but you know, it was all in all. I mean, it was an amazing event, and the racing was more just, you know, we weren't really taking it serious. None of us had ever rode, and the general consensus among the group around our NC Eastgate was we're just going to buy racing tickets just to get more track time. Like, that's the only reason we got them.
Okay. All right. Y'all did pretty good.
Oh yeah, we had two guys make it to finals. One was in the novice, one in the sportsman. You know, they didn't do so good in the finals, but we had one guy that fell like 2 or 3 times during the final race, and you know, that just kind of took him out.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the fall. You were doing really good until you fell.
Yeah, that was in the heat races.
Right.
I held first for 2 laps. Going into the 3rd lap at the end, the last like S curve, going into that last S curve on the 2nd lap. So the guy behind me had passed 2 or 3 people and was trying to make a move for first. And in that move for first, as I'm taking the corner, he's coming on the inside, and he just clipped my board. When he clipped my board, both of us just went tumbling right over the haystacks.
Well, this is about the crash actually. So when you crash into the haystacks, this is silly, but how hard were they? Because, you know,
man,
I'm asking because they set up the track, and next year they may or may not do the hay. But the hay was a lot of hay, you know, and it was getting everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But I know it really, really helped save some people's bones, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think it was the best thing they could have done. Those hay barrels, I've seen multiple wrecks and multiple people that actually hit into the hay barrels. And when they did that, it not only saved them from getting scuffed up, but it actually gave them a buffer and something to lay onto. So those hay barrels, man, that was a lifesaver.
I didn't crash. I did probably, when I had the free ride, I did maybe 6 or 8 laps. And each time, of course, got a little bit quicker, but also, starting to slide just a little. That was a great track. The layout was good. The turns were good. I think, what was there, 6 people per heat or 9? How many people?
10 people per heat.
Here we have another tight grouping at the front. Positions 1 through 5 are super tight. I guarantee. Oh, we already had one position change. I think we're about to see another.
Going into this tight hairpin turn here at the end, right before the finish line.
Yeah, this is the hard curve right behind. Oh, yeah, we had a little delay.
Oh, we've got the racer position 1 is off.
And back in the lead is Brad Hall again.
Brad Hall, number 6.
57, James Titus is right behind Brad.
Brad Hall, hailing from Raleigh, North Carolina. Riding on Team NC Eastgate.
And they're still tight. The first 3 are still tight. I think I can see the decision they're trying to make. Do I go for it or do I hang on to what I got? Let's see what happens here. Here we go. And these are those tight turns. Here it is. There's another challenge. Another challenge right here for first and second. Oh my goodness. Both boards just went into the wall.
Anything can happen anytime when you're watching live racing action.
And they both lost it. So now we have a position change. Now we got Thomas Oliphant. He's in first place. James Titus coming in next. And Brad Hall after that.
First place, Thomas Oliphant from Chandler, Arizona.
And even that is not done. It's not done yet, Seth. I still see first and second place are close enough that they might make another run for it. Another challenge. Let's see.
Anything can happen anytime.
As we come into these last couple of corners. Yep, I see another challenge. Here it goes. Right there on that curve. What's it gonna be?
Coming into the tight turn.
What's it gonna be?
Across the finish line here in front of at the broadcast booth.
And 84, Thomas Oliphant was able to hold on to it.
Do you think that was too many people, or?
No, I think it was actually pretty good. One thing I did notice going back and watching is very few heats ended with, the people in the back finished in the back. There was very few times where the people in the back actually moved up enough spaces. So the way they did it, letting 10 people go and then reversing that order and letting the 10 people go in reverse order, I think that was a really good way and a fair way to host this the heat races for sure.
Yeah, I was proud of how smoothly. On paper, it looked great. The fact that everybody was able to pull their weight and nobody got confused that was a miracle and a testament to how hard them boys worked to pull that thing off.
Yeah, for sure. And this is just their second year. I know going into it that it's just getting better and better,
Yeah. This year was 3 times as big as last year. Next year, if that's 3 times as big, that's going to be amazing. It's going to be, can you imagine 300 riders?
Oh, no.
That's going to be a headache for somebody.
Right. It's going to be big.
And I really feel it's going to be huge because people don't know what they missed. People don't know what they missed. We're going to get a really good glimpse over the coming months with all the video content that's coming out. The races were like the icing on the cake for me personally. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to meet the vendors. I wanted to go for the rides, and I wanted to see where where their backyard rides were. You know, I have a couple of favorite spots, so I wanted to see where the good spots, the favorite spots were at in Vegas, and I only did one, I think, you know, not including the Strip. I did the Red Rock Loop. That was beautiful. Yeah. Do it again, but I missed the wetlands and I missed the downtown art district. So there's some areas that I really just want to, you know, go to and ride around, you know, grab a coffee, ride around some more.
Yeah. That's one good thing we had about our group going out there. NC Eastgate, we went out there as a group. So we already had like 9 or so people that if we missed the rides, we would get our 9 people together and go explore, you know, and we would go out to the art district together. A couple guys were in touch with Joe, with SoCal Legend and Caddy, and were able to get us into the group ride. We did about a 30-person group ride on Friday night that we ran the same route that we were going to take Saturday night. And it was a preparation ride to make sure that everybody, the 30 of us, were all on the same page to try to kind of help the rest of everybody for Saturday night. So we were fortunate that we got to hit those rides up.
How long were you there for?
We got in Thursday night really late and rode the Strip at 2 a.m., which was crazy, and slept a little bit, got up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then left out late Monday night.
I'm seriously considering staying out there like Monday to Monday next year.
Absolutely. If I would have had the time, I would have done that. We tried to go to the wetland ride, but because of Facebook, it had our time as 6:30 as the meetup, but the actual time for the wetland drive was 3:30. So we got there 3 hours late. They were finishing up, leaving, and we actually missed the whole wetland ride.
The clock thing, I went through that a little bit myself. My watch didn't reset, so my watch was on Philly time. My phone was on Vegas time. Yeah, that was a challenge. So, and next year is definitely going to be, you know, take all the lessons we learned and just going to be better.
Yeah, for sure. And so, you know, I wasn't sure that I was going to make it out every single year. Of course, I'd love to, but with us winning that award, we got the Super Squad Award, and they told us we have to come back next year so we can bring the board back to them.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, back to the races. So you did, because I didn't race. So they had the 2 qualifying, and then there was the real race on Sunday, correct?
Right. Well, the heat races, so Saturday was just for qualifying, right? So they took all the racers, 90 plus racers, and did qualifying laps for each one of us. And then Saturday night, they grouped us all into what class we were going to be racing in. So when we get there Sunday, 11, they run 2 heats for each section of racers, and then take the highest points. And I think they took the top 12 racers for the final race. Okay.
The races next year will definitely be bigger. So you have any like suggestions on how to keep it smooth as it was this year?
Well, I think that Redbeard and Mario did an excellent job of keeping racers lined up, along with Amped, calling everybody over the intercom. I thought that it ran incredibly smooth this year. Next year, what I see happening is them extending that cap of 90 racers to probably include more racers, which means, you know, more people, you've got more heats, you've got more classes. I know they had mentioned something about maybe adding a 4th class. And if you add that 4th class, we already know the amount of racers is going to go up. I think that would actually keep it running just as smooth as it was this year, for sure.
Switching gears for a second, talk about gear. What type of safety gear did you have on?
So I was fully padded up. I had on Nobleman Tech, TKO, the TKO 2 helmet, full face. I had Nobleman Tech. I forget what the name of their pads are, but it's the elbow to here, and then knee to shin. And underneath that, I actually had on my padded race pants too. So I was suited up.
Did you have a back protector on?
A what?
Back protector?
Nah, I don't. And to be honest with you, I wore more stuff that one day than I've probably worn the whole time I've ever skated. I don't usually pad up that much.
Okay. Yeah, it's something I try to do as much as possible, but I'm guilty. A lot of times I'll just, grab the board, grab the remote, and go with nothing on. And I'll try and keep it very slow, like under
Right.
50 hour. And if it's anything more than that, then I will force myself to turn around and go gear up,
Yeah. The one thing I do always have is the helmet. I mean, always.
Yeah, I need to do that all the time. I
Yeah.
don't. No, I don't. And I literally say, okay, I am not going above 11 miles an hour. Like I'm going to stay on the sidewalk. I'm just nothing faster than a cool breeze. And when I set those goals, I mean, those limits, I don't go past them. I will not go past them. Unless I'm in grass or something stupid, then I'll, if I'm in grass, all bets are
Yeah.
off.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the streets, they can be cruel. And I like going for like shopping. I'll go to the supermarket, which is 3 away, 5-10 mile round trips is my normal. And when I'm doing that, yeah, it's a helmet. Because I'm definitely dealing with traffic then.
Right. Right.
Let me see, what else about the race though?
Yeah, I will. I'll be honest. When I'm riding off road, I hardly ever wear a helmet. That's the only time. If I'm riding in like gravel, trails, grass, anything like that, I don't. And I know I should, but I'm not typically going 25, 30 miles an hour in grass, so I just don't wear a helmet usually.
All right, so this was your first time racing?
Yes, this is my first time racing. Never had even really done, the intro to speed. I don't know if you've heard of intro to speed. I've never done an intro to speed. I've never done anything like that. This was the first time that we had any of our group had really done anything like this.
Brad Christopher had the same thing. He had never raced before. Eastgate Unity.
Yeah.
That was his first time ever being on a track, and his mind was blown. His heart found a new love. I can't say I blame him. Just going out there by myself solo was amazing. So I can only imagine if I was actually like in the thrill of the fight, fighting for first place, fighting for that line, in position and all. Like that thrill can definitely be addictive because, like I said, I did 6 to 8 laps and I was with the crowd, and sometimes Fred lapped me twice. Let's just put that out there. Fred lapped me. So I'm still not sure if I'm post that video footage, but as the guys were coming around, I'm trying to like get in the position and get the line, and I really felt it. Like you really, really feel like a racer. And like I said, I was just playing around, so I can only imagine how you feel actually racing. Like I was busy doing some other things, but I wish I could have got out there too. So next year, I'm definitely doing it. That's why I want to go for a week, because I'm going to need to get skating out of my system so that I can focus on the content and then focus on the racing. And I might even have to bring a cameraman out there so I can, really just enjoy myself, because it's a lot to do. It's a lot to see. It's a lot, and even more people to talk to.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot going on. And I'll tell you, the one thing about the racing that I wasn't expecting was the adrenaline rush. It was just at the end of each race, at the end of each heat, just the adrenaline is pumping, and it is real. When I had my first wreck and we hit those hay barrels, I jumped back on my board. Of course, I'm at the back of the pack now, but I jump on my board and I gun the throttle, and being on those cloud wheels, my board starts like fishtailing, right? And I lost control of it, slammed into the haystacks at the other end of that S curve, right by the announcers. The guy that clipped me the first time, I actually caused him to wreck, and he went down to the ground. So after those 2 wrecks, my adrenaline and my heart was just going so much that I couldn't breathe. And I actually had to get off the track. I didn't finish my second heat. I was literally out of breath, and I couldn't finish.
it's still the best feeling in the world, right?
Oh, it is. It's definitely exciting for sure.
So next year, I mean, are you what type of wheels are you gonna explore?
So I'll be honest, I had planned to use the hollow wheels because I heard they were super grippy. You know, watched some reviews. Everybody's saying how grippy these hollow wheels were. Well, I've got the hollow wheels and tested them out, and I didn't find them to be as grippy as what I had heard. And I then was like, okay, I'm going to go with pneumatics, right? Because everyone's racing with pneumatics. Well, the pneumatics never, just the ones I had, I would lose all torque. And I needed torque on a track like that. You'd rather have torque than top speed because you're going to be going slow into corners and then accelerating high out of those corners. So I ended up putting the good old clouds on because that's what I'm used to, you know, and I thought I did pretty good on them, but they're not made for racing, you know. So next year I'm going to try to get a different board. Right now I'm probably going to get something A-Stec. It's a great company. They got huge motors, high acceleration. Probably get an A-Stec and be running some 6-inch or higher pneumatics on it.
Well, let's see right here. We'll take this moment to mention one of the sponsors, Cloud Wheels. We got the 165 Cloud Wheel Rovers and the new Cloud Wheel Hydros. I definitely suggest you give these a try, especially the 100 millimeters for racing. I think I did a lap with the Rovers on, and they're good. Equivalent to having 80 PSI in your pneumatic tires, which usually for racetracks, you want a lower PSI.
Right.
So this might not be a good idea to have this diameter with this much quote unquote pressure. But these guys with the smaller diameter, I think might be the way to go. And you get a contact patch. If you can't go with these, then those wheels that James Titus had, I don't know what they're called, but the ones with ridges looking like Ruffles potato chips. Yeah, those guys, I saw what he was doing with them, and the contact, the traction he was getting was insane. I can't wait. I'm gonna put these on the Endurance as soon as he gets here, so I can check them out. I could throw them on my Sex Panther now, but I experienced them on the Endurance first, and then I'll stick the Rovers on because these just roll over everything at 165 millimeters. The weight actually counterbalances. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is. My guess is the weight of the wheel counterbalances the drag of the motors so that your skateboard free rolls like it was a regular kick push skateboard.
That's cool. That's cool. I like those hydros though. Those hydros, they look like for smaller gears like I'm running on my Meepo, those would have come in real handy with that thicker contact patch.
And because it doesn't have, it's not pneumatic, this is a polyurethane sidewall, you get less flex. You get like, almost zero flex. Your grip feels a little bit more secure because you don't have that wave wobble of, okay, where's it all going to catch? Where is it not catching? So these guys are really good. Really good. I think good numbers. Run some really quick numbers with these.
Yeah, I like to try those on my Meepo for sure.
These are the 100s. I think X-Way has a 105 version.
Okay.
Slightly bigger. There's a couple of different. They partnered with maybe somebody else, or maybe somebody else did a knockoff. But between Cloud Wheels and the X-Way one, they'll hit you up 100 or 105 millimeters.
Yeah, I like those. Going back to what you're saying about James Titus' board with his wheels, I think that's the same wheels that Most Dude uses on all of his boards too.
Yeah. I don't know the name of them, but I've seen them around.
Yeah, I think it's like a letter thing, like a SRB or something like that, which that's Stewed Race boards, but it's something like a lettering thing. I've looked at them before, and they won't work on my Meepo, but the bigger boards they might work on,
Yeah. So about Eastgate Con, what was your favorite moment other than the races? And
favorite moment was probably the pros. which that's the races, I guess. Watching the pros race. Other than the races, I'd say probably just the community. You know, talking to people that you only see online. You know, getting to introduce yourself,
Right.
meeting up with what I call internet friends. You know, the camaraderie that comes along with that. It's great to have everybody in one place at one time.
One of the most beautiful things, like you said, the camaraderie and internet friends, even strangers. Like when we were in that gate, those 4 gates, I could walk up to a total stranger and say, here, take my board that I've slaved over for months to get. I don't even know your name, but here, take it and go for a ride.
Right.
And that was beautiful. There was one guy, he was ride on one of the Tommy Boy's skateboards with the wooden, and he must have, I don't know how, but he snapped it. So my son and I were walking back to the gate, and we saw this guy carrying what looked like a baby at first because we were walking up behind him. And we see him from the front, and he's struggling like so hard. I'm like, dude, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm like, you need some help? And he's thinking, yeah, but no. And he says, yeah, but no. And I'm like, oh, wait. And I pull out my pass, and I'm like, no, I'm here too. And he's like, oh yeah, no, you can definitely help me, bro. You know, so like just seeing everybody with that pass on, like family reunion, you know.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Felt like a family reunion. Yeah,
exactly. It's like I didn't know I had a brother. I didn't know I had another sister. I didn't. And then all the other father and sons that were there. That a lot of things about that Eastgate Con that brought tears to my eyes. You know.
Yeah.
And it's funny watching everybody try and put it in words. You know, because it's a bunch of men, and we're getting closer. Like you just said, you know, the camaraderie, the family reunion. It's that's it right there.
I will tell you one thing I'd like to see is more events. You know, so the Intro to Speed, I've noticed a lot of groups, local groups here in North Carolina, but also groups in DC. I'm sure up your way, everyone's starting the Intro to Speed. Right. So the Intro to Speed is great because it gets people racing. But as far as I know, there's only like 2 or 3 events to even go race at anymore. So I'd like to see more Eastgate races throughout the country is what I'd like to see come from this, because it is such a good time and it is fun to run into these other people and to race them. But there's only a few races throughout the year that we can even, you know, that even are a thing. So it'd be nice to see some more events pop up throughout the country, you know?
No, I feel what you're saying. The market is open right now. So I hope that whoever picks it up doesn't, you know, mishandle it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like how the NBA is, or the NFL, or the Major Baseball League with I think it was the gymnastics. The Olympics took over the training, and if you don't do certain things, you can't be in the Olympics. And it's so we definitely got to keep it grassroots and pure at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
But hold on to it. We cannot let this thing go. This is our baby. This is our...
Right. You got any more planned events for the summer?
Yeah, as soon as this endurance gets here, I want to do. There's a trail that's 70 miles long. I want to do an endurance test for the endurance and see how much it can endure, for real.
Right.
So I'm not sure if it's 70 or 80, but I'm probably going to do it twice. Unfortunately for me, unfortunately for my leg, but I want to do it once with the hydros, with the 100 millimeter wheels, and then I'm going to do it a second time with the 165s. And I want to see which one I get better range with, because obviously you would think that with the 100s you get better range, but I'm all to bet $1,000 that I'll get better range with the 165s.
Just because of the weight, like you were saying, the weight.
Yeah, that free roll. I mean, I did a 25-mile ride on the Panther with those Rovers, and I know I had another 15 miles left in me, and it was, or rather left in the board, and I didn't expect that,
Yeah.
And it was all uphill. It was downhill, of course, downhill one way, completely uphill the next way. So
right.
After, beating the crap out of it, coming uphill, I'm thinking it's going to be dead, and it wasn't. It had a lot of juice left. So
yeah, that's crazy. I was headed out though we're going to be going. Our group's headed out to like out of town. I didn't know if you were going to make it to DC any this summer.
Oh yeah, DC ain't too far. I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
I could definitely ride.
Yeah, DC's got big events. DC Eastgate, they know how to ride there, and they've got a big group following. So if you get a chance to make it to DC, we're going to be trying to go to DC a couple times this summer for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely will. Hey, while we're on video, thank you for spending this time talking to me. I look forward to talking to you some more. Definitely look forward to seeing you next year at Eastgate Con 2024. I get down to DC.
Yeah, for sure. We should be. I'm sure we'll be running into each other before next year at Eastgate Con.
Exactly. So again, thank you for spending time talking to me. I look forward to talking to you some more. I'll let you know how I make out with this endurance and these hydros when they get here.
Yeah, please let me know, because that endurance, I've heard nothing but good things out of it. So.
Yep. Well, God bless. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll see you.
Thank you.
All right.